Let's talk about Quincy and Monica's ping pong relationship in Love and Basketball, one of the early 2000s most popular Black cinema love stories.
We're actually at the conclusion of this story, and Quincy has just announced that he has a whole fiance.
Is this the end for Monica and Quincy?
Can they get that old thing back?
What will they be willing to do to salvage their relationship? Is it even possible?
We'll answer these questions and more.
I'm Heit.
And I'm Cheri.
And you've discovered Axiom Amnesia.
We want to thank all of the supporters who helped to make this video possible. If you want your name to appear alongside these contributors, make a one-time donation via Cash App or click the thanks button on this video, or you can head on over to patreon.com/Axiom Amnesia or become a channel member by clicking the join button to enjoy all of the benefits of becoming a monthly subscriber. So at this point in the movie, Quincy has busted his ACL by trying to showboat, and now Monica has come back to the States because maybe she can get her man back. You know, I don't know if y'all ever saw that movie, Mahogany, where Diana Ross is in the crowd and she's telling Billy D. Williams, I just want my man back.
I want you to get me my old man back.
That's what Monica came back for. Maybe we should cover the movie Mahogany at some point.
Are you prepared to stand by him when the going's getting rough?
Yes!
Anyway, so that's where we are. And so let's see what happens. Monica comes to the room where Quincy is trying to recuperate in the hospital, and we find out that he has a whole fiance. And that's played by Tyra Banks. So what's going to happen next?
Quincy.
Hey, man.
Monica was over there like, congratulations, like Vesta Williams. Talk about congratulations. I thought it would have been me standing there with you. But all she could say is congratulations, because she is just really knocked off of her feet.
Congratulations. Thank you.
After Monica leaves the hospital, you know, she go to her mama, and her mama can never see when something is ailing her.
What do? Find out where they're registered and send them a gift.
And then basically she's just like, Quincy's getting married. The mama's like, to who? That stewardess?
Engaged. To that stewardess.
That's the dig. She's just a stewardess.
And she doesn't even say she's a flight attendant, right?
Well,
Because
that
by
was
then,
the 90s. It's like, he can do a lot better.
You can do a lot better if you ask me.
But that is also our cue as an audience to be like, so now she's not good enough for him, and the only other choice we know about is Monica. So if she go and steal that woman's man, then it's all right.
so Monica's pissed because she knows that her mother knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, when you come at me with bullshit like that.
She's not giving her the advice, and she's like, well, what do you want me to say, Monica?
What do you want me to say, Monica? Go over there and beat up the girl?
You want me to tell you to go sleep with that woman's husband? I'm not gonna do it. I'm saying, you know, he could do better. And then she calls her mama prissy.
And that's just too damn bad.
And so she's like, so that's why we can't get along, because I'd rather do a jump shot or whatever
That's why we can't get along?
than to be prissy like you and the sister. The mother is like, yeah, you're ashamed of me,
Oh, don't tell me you're not ashamed of it, because I know.
and your mother is nothing but a housewife.
Male superstar athlete whose mother is nothing but a housewife.
So then Monica's like, what is embarrassing is you not being a caterer so that you could be around here ironing your husband's drawers.
And knowing his woman's home cooking and ironing his drawers.
Got me pregnant with Lena.
And then I had you, and I had to put my dreams on hold.
And then I had you. So I had to put my dreams on hold.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You know what day I remember?
You know, the mother recounts how she told her, and we saw this in the movie, how the spring dance, and she told her she was beautiful.
And I put my mother's pearls around your neck.
You know, and that was her memory. And she was glad that she didn't have to run off to a catering job, and that she was glad she was able to be there for her family.
That day I was happy I didn't have a catering business to run off
to provide the hot meals and all of these other things.
It never mattered to you one way or another while I was at them games. It mattered, Mom.
It did matter. And I think the important thing here is that for children, for young people, for even adults, it is one of the greatest gifts you can give a person is something you know they're passionate about, being willing to show up for that. I just wanted to jump in and say that we have about a 15-minute conversation about this dynamic and fight between Monica and her mother that was just too long for this video. So for the sake of the continuity of this video, we've explained the basics of what's happened in the scene. But for a more in-depth look at this mother-daughter dynamic, we've made this conversation a YouTube channel member and Patreon member exclusive that's available right now. A link to this conversation is in the description below. We encourage you to become a member if you're not already one. Patreon is preferred, but you can do YouTube too. So this will allow you to enjoy exclusive benefits like these exclusive videos, early releases on select videos across all of our Axiom Amnesia channels, and more. It's a great way to support the channel and help make these videos possible. So Monica is conflicted about giving up basketball. She's in her room looking at her basketballs, looking at all the pictures of her and Quincy on the wall and her achievements throughout the years. Thinking about the fear I've had so long. And in the background, Holding Back the Years, Angie Stone's version is playing. And if you remember that song, it actually, I think, was originally done by Simply Red. I think they were the first ones to do it, but a huge hit. So she's conflicted. She's looking at these memories. She's pulling the posters down from the walls. She is giving up basketball. But then in the next scene, we also see this is a montage with the music. And Quincy is rehabbing his leg. And you know that's got to be hard. That's gone. So he's working to try to get back. Monica's working at the bank where her father is.
Nepo, baby.
That's what I was going to say. Nepotism.
Excuse me. Thank you. How's it going?
You know, and they are both doing things that they really don't want to do, but they're trying to move on. Monica looks over because she's in her old bedroom and Quincy's old bedroom at his house. Monica sees Quincy moving out, you know, and Carol, his fiance, is helping him and they're kissing, and she sees this woman kissing what in her mind is like, man, my love. And she's moving in because that's hard to see, maybe.
No, I'm just saying, but why is he now at this moment
moving out
when he's been gone for who knows how long? I don't know. I guess he's like, once you get married, then you can't store stuff at your parents' house.
I mean, and was he really gone? Did he go back while he was rehabbing? Did he ever leave his mother? Okay, so here's the question. Go to the comments and let us know. Did he ever move out of home and leave his mother after the divorce? Or was he just on the road all the time?
But you have to move because you're doing practice and home games and stuff. Like it's.
Oh, but he was moving all around the different teams. Yeah. So he lived away from home. But then when he came back to LA, maybe he just didn't get a place. You know, you back home. So you know.
Yeah, but I'm saying you would have already moved out at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you would think.
But it's just like, all right, once you get married, it's kind of like, okay, the father hands over the daughter, right? At this point, then the mama let the reins go and you got to get your stuff
She said, get your stuff out. We finna turn this into a my woman
basically
cave.
Because the woman is taking care of the house and everything, right? Now you have a woman to do it, so get your old stuff out of there and have her take care of your belongings.
Help her pack it up and get it up out of here so I can use my space in my nice house.
Bruh.
And you know, but there is kind of like this unspoken thing too, because you know how tight the mother was, those tight reins on Quincy when he was younger. And I don't know that really changed all that much because, you know, she never wanted Quincy to get caught. And so far it looks like he didn't get caught up by those women who were after him. So maybe he did, you know, come and stay. Maybe he had moved. Who knows exactly? Because maybe I don't know what he makes as a substitution player. But you know,
you call him a substitution?
Well, they were like, he's on the substitutes. That was what the
but he's just on the roster. He's just not a
he ain't starting. Substitute.
Yeah. But the thing too is, I'm sure it's a lot of women who try to get with them, but I don't know at the time, dude. If you just don't know, you'd be like, I'm on the team too. Do you get some? Or because you get to hang out with, I don't know, who is it, Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel and them at the time that you get the leftovers.
Yeah, you just get the leftovers after they go back up to their rooms or whatever. Yeah, and then, you know, he plays with them. I'm sure he, you know.
Well.
Basically, everybody's trying to adult. This is like to me, like they're them trying to adult and move on from basketball, or maybe he can get back to basketball if he rehabs.
I think he tried to rehab, and then when they show him on the court trying to do go through these drills, he realized he don't have it anymore. And with that, I don't remember who it was, but they kind of talk about that where when they realized it was time to hang it up, it was like, oh, usually take me this many steps to get to the hoop. And now it's taking me this many steps. You know what I'm saying? So then I know that basically I'm declining. And when you get an injury like this, I'm sure you see things like that when you're rehabbing and is it worth it and all that. And if you got, the season coming up, because I don't know when the European League is. I think that's just the women's is probably during the summer. That you have the season coming up. Will you really even be able to make the roster? Is it worth the effort? But these athletes and their dreams, they just be irrational thinking, they gonna make it and stuff too. So
Yeah.
But sometimes you do realize, and maybe there's other things like your daddy say that's kind of more important than that too.
Monica comes home with her hair all straightened in her business suit. She's getting out of her car, and Quincy sees her, and he remembers. He says, well, I remember when your mama had, to beat you to get you to put a dress on.
Your mom had to beat you into a dress.
And so they make small talk.
Visiting?
Carrie's out of town for a couple of days. Figure I keep my mom company.
She's asking about his knee. He says it's getting there. And so she's like, well, is it strong enough to get you down the aisle? And he's like, man, it's 2 weeks away.
Strong enough to get you down the aisle?
2 weeks.
Then he realizes, I didn't send you an invitation.
Bro, they talking about I didn't get to send you.
Bro, she was not invited.
I didn't get to send you an invitation, but you're
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all that means. But he's like, yeah, just you could come anyway.
Yeah,
Bruh.
just crash my wedding.
That's wrong, though. Like all of the neighbors, because I'm guessing that they had all been cool throughout the year, even though we only seen them interact once. But I think that they would be invited.
Yeah, or at least her parents too, right? Because Quincy was sleeping at their house half the time.
Yeah, but then you just drop off the invitation for her too, right? You're like, okay, here's three invitations, right?
So he's supposed to send the invitation, and she's supposed to have the etiquette and know-how to know that she shouldn't show up, but that her parents probably should go, right? And then that's how it goes.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, let me ask you this question. You never told me why ball isn't fun for you anymore.
You never told me why ball isn't fun anymore.
Because he's now saying, I feel like that. In the hospital, he was like, nah, I don't know what it feels like not to love ball. Now, some months later, he's like, yeah, I'm feeling that. Might be what you said.
'Cause I'm kind of feeling that way, too.
We had a rough couple of years, that's all.
Yeah, it is. But he basically said he was trying to be
Seems like I needed ball when I was trying to be like my pop.
like his pop, but he wanted to be better.
I was trying to be better than my pop.
But he never reached that level to be better. So, and he knows that he's never going to be better. So now it's time to hang it up.
I may miss some of the attention, but besides that,
Serious?
He was just trying to outdo his daddy, who he despised at that point, which makes the decision to enter the draft prematurely, what it was. Like, okay, that's why you wanted to go.
So he's like, I think I'm going back to school.
I'm thinking about going back to school.
And by the way, he talks about that he doesn't live there. So I stand corrected from the last scene. And that Kira, not Carol, I am corrected again before too many people make comments that her name is not Carol, it's Kira, Tyra Banks' character, that she's out of town. So he decided to keep his mama company. And that's why he's at the house for whatever days. Because, she's a flight attendant. So she's out flying. And so he's like, why did you give up ball?
So why'd you give up ball?
Why do you keep sweating me on?
Because I don't get it.
And I never knew anybody who loved ball as much as you do.
Man, I never knew a girl. I never knew anyone who loved ball as much as you.
And then at the end of the day, she's just like, leave it alone.
Just leave it alone, all right?
All right.
But who's looking in the window? The mama peeking out. The mama's always looking out the window.
But
she sees them talking.
Yeah, but they did have this conversation about how kids see the life they want.
When you're a kid, you see the life you want.
And it never crossed their mind, that it's not going to turn out like that.
And it never crosses your mind that it's not going to turn out that way.
Because one of these adages we have is to make kids dream big dreams that they could never be, right? So it's sort of like I would call myself short. And I could never dream to be a professional athlete. I just couldn't do it.
Okay, they're going to ask how tall you are.
I don't care. I'm very short, y'all. No.
He's taller than me.
So I could never dream. Well, I could, right? But I would look to, look, Muggsy Bogues. Look at Spud Webb. You know, silly stuff like that. But I could never dream to do it. And that's probably one of the reasons that I didn't play sports. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But we had this thing that, okay, you dream big. I think it do at times cross your mind if it don't turn out like that, because I just think you have to. And then the whole idea of, okay, now we have to see somebody who look like us in these positions for us to be able to dream, and that is, you know, that's just part of the dreaming.
Yeah.
Is I'm going to dream, and you think that, hopefully, that you're going to be that. Otherwise, is, you know, you're not going to take those steps for that to even happen.
Well, I think what happens is that as a kid, you're naturally dreaming of things. And then, you know, when you hear this promotion of dream, you don't even have to tell kids to dream, because they just do, right?
The first dream is when I get grown.
Yeah. So they're going to dream. But like as adults are like, I'm going to impact this. I'm going to direct their dreams. So this, like, you can be anything you want to be. You could be, you know, you give people all of these mantras, many of which are actually unrealistic if we're being honest with ourselves, right? And unlikely. What's supposed to happen is, as a kid, without these interventions, you dream the dreams, and then you become realistic as you live more life, and you realize that the likelihood of certain things happening might be, you adjust it based on what's happening at the time, right? You know, if you are somebody who is, you know, 12 years old and you 6'2" already, you know, then you're like, okay, and you're a great player, then it's more realistic than if you don't have that same aptitude.
Like when I got to college, and then it was like, to get accepted to these whatever special schools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm gonna have to adjust that, because I didn't make these grades in the first semester.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna allow me to have this GPA to get accepted into the major that I really want to be in, right? So let me just go ahead and figure out what I really want to do, because I didn't want to do that anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, as you're figuring out life, and you know, as you figure out life, most people don't stick to what they want to do for the rest of their life from what you said when you were a kid. Most people just don't. I don't even remember everything I said I wanted to be. I wanted to be a whole bunch of things when I was a kid. You know, what I turned out to be was a whole bunch of things, but it wasn't those things, right?
And then like your actual interests too, because I don't think I wanted to be what my interests actually were.
Mm-hmm.
That was, you know, very strange, because I wasn't guided in that way. There's these, quote, the dream of whatever, and then there's your actual life and what you actually do.
Right.
Your grandma says it's too cold.
Oh, Grandma.
Monica's mother had been watching, but then, you know, a little while later, Monica is in the backyard with her sister Lena. Of course, we finally get to see Regina Hall again and her new baby, and you know, they're doting over the baby, and the mother is saying the grandmother now, right, is saying what all grandmothers say: well, you need to put a sweater on that baby, put something on that baby's head, you know, that baby is cold and whatever. So, you know, Lena gets up and leaves, and then it's just left with Monica and her mother. And Monica's mother is like, you know,
but I always admired was the fight in you.
There was something that always kind of drove me a little nuts about you, but I was also jealous of you for it. And it's the fight in you.
And I have to admit, it made me jealous.
And back when I said that Quincy could do better.
But remember when I said I thought Quincy could do better?
I was talking about you.
I was talking about you.
She's basically saying, go steal that woman's man.
She's saying, go get your man.
This is Alicia Keys' favorite movie.
Shut up.
And isn't it Ariana Grande now they're talking about? One of them?
Yeah, Ariana Grande done stole somebody's husband. And so we already kind of see, because Monica's mother dropped that gem, if it's a gem, and then just walks on away.
And then she buck her eyes up like, wait a minute.
She's
let me go take him.
To steal her husband.
You got to dream big.
You know? So you see the look on Monica's face. So we like, well, what Monica gonna do? How's she gonna get this right? And we already know that his fiance is not there right now. She's away. So you got this narrow window of time. What you gonna do, Monica?
Bruh, 2 weeks. Come on, man. This is hilarious, though, to me. Okay, so Monica is tossing and turning because she ain't getting none since freshman year of college.
She can't sleep at night when he's on her mind and Bobby Womack's on the radio.
So she crawled out the window and go wake up Quincy.
What's going on?
Talking about we gotta talk.
We need to talk.
Dang. So maybe she just been, laying out what she gonna do in the actual, in her mind. And now she's like, all right, he'll go to plan.
I know.
Because I know we got this connection of coming outside at night and knocking on each other's windows. He gonna have to be put into that mindset of when he was kids.
Let's remember that old thing. Let's remember the night of the spring dance.
The spring dance. The conversation turns into, I found out what was missing from basketball.
You asked me what was missing
What?
from basketball.
So she didn't lay this out. You have to, because you don't just come up with this on the spot, right? And she's like, you're missing.
You woke me up to tell me that?
It's not fun for me anymore because you're missing.
And that's supposed to be roaring applause from the crowd.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
She finally
and this is a
speaks up.
romance.
I've loved you since I was 11.
So one thing I must mention, people talk about, I've seen some comments, oh, I realized this movie isn't good because Monica is blah, blah, and whoever cheating and blah, blah, right? And I'm like, what makes a movie good or not is not whether or not I agree with the actions of any of the characters. Is it a good story and all those other elements that make a film or, book literature?
Yes.
Right? To me, I think it's a very good story. As
it is.
a love story or romance. Especially when you get to this part, you're missing. I love you since I was 11. Shit won't go away.
Shit won't go away.
Throwing in shit, you know what I'm saying? It's a little,
Yeah, it's a
edgy.
little risque,
Yeah.
But he's angry, and he turns to leave.
Better late than never. Right?
Wrong.
He's like, you still haven't changed.
You haven't changed.
You think the sun rises and sets on you,
You still think the sun rises and sets on your ass. Guess what? It doesn't.
which
Bruh.
I don't think is in line with reality.
No, it's not.
But it's how Quincy looks at it.
It's what happened with Quincy when he was in college. He thought the world was revolving around him with his daddy and all that situation. She should drop everything for him. Now, that's crazy. Because what I was going to say is he was like, it's been 5 years.
We haven't talked since college.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that people change.
Yeah.
But his thing is she hasn't changed. But I don't think that's the case.
I think he just saying something because he's mad. He's mad that now he has a decision to make.
You wait 2 weeks before my wedding to tell me something like that.
He's mad about it because
Yeah.
he's interested in her too. He wasn't just like, oh, my eyes are only on
He expressed
Kira. Yeah.
He said, you don't pull this shit on someone who's about to get married.
And why are you so upset?
Because you don't pull this shit on someone who's about to get married.
Right?
Yeah.
So she should have done it sooner.
I don't know. I probably should have said it 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I think it would have been on him because he the one who walked away, but he was...
And he got obligations, but he
was
did
trying to
try to call
call.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did try to call her. So
and they both know she ignored him.
yeah, they both know it. And he deserved that, especially by the way he was acting at the time. But, and time passes, years have passed and everything. The other thing is when he's still mad, he's turning to leave. And she's just like, wait a minute. I'll play you.
I'll play you.
What?
But the interesting thing here is she's like, but it's better late than never,
Bruh.
But what's so funny is that with Quincy, she never was speaking up for herself. She was never telling him how she felt. She, for the most part, until they were finally together. This is kind of a replay of what happened in high school where she wasn't speaking up.
Yeah.
She wasn't telling him. And this is what she blamed her mama for.
Well, she had part of her mama, right?
Yeah,
That's
and
the
she blamed her
traditional
mama
part.
for that, right? Oh, you never spoke up for yourself, as if you do every time Monica quit it. And so now he turns to leave, but she speaks up again. And she's like, I'll play you one-on-one.
One game, one-on-one.
I think the better late than never part is that's the movie world, which is ironic because we're in the movie, right? Because that's how it's supposed to be. All right, this is the finale. She comes up is because of you, and he's supposed to be like, yeah, and they kiss and live happily ever after, right? And then it's better late than never. But wait, what they're in is not the movie. It's just we're watching the movie in movie world. That's supposed to be work. It's supposed to work. That's supposed to be the end right there. And now she got to play for it. I'll play you for it. And a flashback to college, and yeah.
Yeah,
There we
so
are.
she's like, I'll play you. And he like, For what? You know, they were always playing for this or that. Last time we saw them play each other,
For them
it was for them
draws.
draws. Yes. And so what are they playing for this time?
Your heart.
Hold on. That was bars. That was bars right there. I don't know. That's
Yes. So let's get to the bar. So
Okay.
what you playing for?
Your heart.
Your heart. And then he's like, he laughs in her face,
You're out of your mind.
right? When she's like, I'm gonna want to play you for your heart. And then she's like, I know why you broke up with me. I should have been there for you.
I know why you broke up with me in college. And not that it wasn't messed up.
I didn't understand how to, have basketball and how to be there for you at the same time,
I just didn't know how to do that and be all about ball.
but I understand why you broke up with me in college.
I should have been there for you.
And then he says, well, I couldn't trust anybody after my dad and whatever.
Lost. After that stuff with my dad, couldn't trust anybody, okay?
And he's like, I moved on though.
That was 5 years ago. I've moved on.
Oh, and she like, prove it.
Prove it.
Oldest proof.
Because, and now your bars.
yeah. The bars was just basically that. The only reason she won was because he let her.
in
right?
the past. Mhm.
Yeah.
You once said the reason I beat you was because you wanted me to.
So now, if you lose this game, that's because you're letting me.
If I win, it's because deep down you know you're about to make the biggest mistake of your life.
And you don't have to exactly just say, I just want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of giving that grace. We don't really talk about this. It's, providing a way for somebody to do what is otherwise harder for them to do. And we do this all the time, everybody, in, language and actions and stuff without actually saying it. And some people may call it manipulation or whatever, but that's just how we interact. And if you read books on like linguistics and stuff, they would tell you like that's part of our language and allowing people the grace, and allowing them
They don't have to actually come clean. They can still have what they want and communicate that they want a thing without saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Or even like, hey, I am not pleading guilty, but I'm going to plead no contest.
Yeah, or like, it would be great if we went to the beach this weekend, right? Instead of saying, hey, you want to go to the beach, or hey, we need to go to the beach, it would be great. And then, it kind of leaves somebody who can still have an out or whatever if they don't want to go. Because I'm not saying that I definitely want to go. I'm just saying it would be something extra if I got to go, right? It would be great if we could go to the beach.
Yeah, but how about the fact that it's totally overlooked here is that we're talking about Monica playing against a seriously injured Quincy. And
Because we still had that thing that it's still a man and he's been rehabbing and a woman. So he should be able to beat her. And he's a professional, right? Let's put that in there.
So was she. She was.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying if he wasn't a professional, then maybe she gonna just beat him. You know what I'm saying? But this is a professional who's injured too. So he should be able to beat her.
Okay, so is her even posing this and giving him the out? She tries to use a little bit of psychology. What you going, bitch up or whatever.
So what, you gonna bitch up?
What's that supposed to be? Some psychology?
A lot of what we just heard Monica say was part of her attempt at psychology. She just wants him to say yes. It's as simple as that. So we have to question the authenticity of some of what she said.
And deep down, you want me to stop you.
Like she's trying to show him that it is okay to say yes. And we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
And what happens when you lose?
Once they start playing, it's quite clear that Quincy is washed up and she's taking advantage of that bad knee.
And then here's the question I also have is, was Quincy's mind changing as he's playing, or was his agreement actually the yes? Right? Because the first thing she says is 1st to 10, and he's like 5.
1st to 10.
5.
So why? And then he says it's his excuse, possibly a lie. I got things to do. Bro, you was like laying in the bed. You ain't got nothing to do.
Scared?
I have better things to do.
Sleeping is better than playing for my heart when I have 2 weeks to get married.
For playing with your heart that you already did. Let's get to it. Because you already gave Monica your heart and you gonna say yes. The fact that you even start playing to me is like, that's the yes right there. That is the yes.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Because if you care about her, you're not gonna beat her and then be like, so where's my wedding gift? Like that would just
why
be
not?
too
Because
cold.
If I lose, I'll buy you a wedding present.
You
If
ain't
somebody
finna do
is
that.
being this forward and he's basically saying you're always like this, I'm gonna just beat you to get you out of my hair, and then we made this agreement, so hopefully you abide by it and it's over.
One zip.
So let's play and let me beat you, but I don't think he knew his rehab was where it was or where it should have been. Cause dang, bro.
2 zip.
So Monica becomes very frustrated. First she's trash talking and stuff,
3 zip. Where's the D? Sleepy?
and then he gets a couple points
Check.
and it's even, 3 up.
3 up.
And she about to have a meltdown. You could see it on her face like she had in high school. So then she's like, let me take my jersey off and, try to distract him.
When you fill my heart with joy.
Yes, because this is what I wonder now. Was Monica a psych major? Because a lot of people were psych majors, right? They were not really intending to go into psychology exactly, but, psych just, they decided to be a psych major,
and he
right?
specifically mentioned psychology.
And so she says at one point, where's the D?
3 zip. Where's the D? Sleepy?
Now, if you remember earlier in the movie when they got ready to play their one-on-one, she asks him where the D, and that's where it ends, right? Because he comes up behind her and he is like, here's the D. And we all know what that means, right? And so she has said this before, but what she's doing is she is talking mess to him.
You need her? Come to play?
In the way she used to. And she is making him remember his love for her and his love for the game.
How you taking out your grades, huh? You think that's gonna make you play better?
Because remember, he also said, I don't love the game like I used to anymore. And that has to be like rekindling these good feelings inside of him. But he does start whipping her butt though.
So now you wanna play.
And we hear Michelle Indigo-Cello, Fool of Me, begin to play. And it is just like, you made a fool of me. And boy, that music is...
And so now Lathan did a good job with her facial expressions in this scene, because I was like, wait, she...
Yes.
So interesting. Anything.
Look like she's about to...
She's desperate. And at any point, she like, let me take my shirt off. Anything, I got to have this man.
You make me feel.
I don't hear you talking. I don't hear you.
Okay, so he's like, I don't hear you talking and all that stuff. And then he goes up, it looked like he's about to dunk and win it. And, I think she stole the ball from him. And then, here she goes. She got the ball, and it looked like they try to make us think she was going to win.
Yeah, like she could come back from it because she had the head start.
I want to kiss you.
Yeah.
And she missed the easy layup.
Does she want you with the pain that I do?
And how she said, okay, if I win it, that means that you want this, right? So if you give up an easy layup like that, then that to me looks like you don't really want him.
No, you do. What it is that's the unforced error that happens when you become too emotional, right? She's so emotional that she making unforced errors. And then that's
Like
supposed to
she used to
indicate
do.
to us, yes, that all that she had learned over the years, that when it came back down to it, something she really, really cared about, she is frazzled,
So
dazzled.
before it was her love for basketball, but now she's playing basically for her love for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there is no difference, and this is why the movie is called Love and Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But we made love.
And Quincy, you pointed out that he's talking mess to her now. He wasn't talking mess in the beginning, but he starts talking mess. And see, in the past, he had used their sexuality to quell any conflict between the two of them. Every time she would get upset when they were together, he would start kissing her and whatever. And, then it was just like that solved it, right? But he doesn't do that now. They're having conflict and he is continuing to whoop her butt. He is trying to prove a point.
You made a fool of me.
And see, in the past, he didn't care whether he won when they were playing for the D, right? You know, he didn't care because he knew he won either way. And that is also part of the lesson here is that, you know, and I don't remember what movie was that where they were like, sometimes when you win, you lose, and sometimes when you lose, and you win, you lose, you know.
Oh, yeah,
but you go to the comments. What movie is that? Because I can't call it right now. But the point being that winning and losing in life versus a particular game, you know, you want the big win. That's what they want here. But in this case, you know, he in the past just didn't care if he won against her. But now he's proven his point. And she missed, like you said, missed the easy layup. And this music, the song is continuing to play, talking about how much she wants him. Not, and it's not even just how much she needs it. Like she's like, you know, it's almost like at the end of Boomerang when Eddie Murphy is like, I can't breathe without you. Like that is how much she realizes that he needs to be in her life.
Monica gets beat. So the thing is, your boy is about to beat her and stuff. And then I don't know what it's called, but he basically body checked her with the ball.
I can touch you. No more.
And then he dunked the ball, and then it's just over. And she's just looking sad.
Can't touch you. And
He talking about it's all's fair in love and basketball.
All's fair in love and basketball, right?
She's walking away all sad with this music playing. But we know it's a movie, so man, something gotta happen. He's like, hey, and then she turn around and we're thinking, all right, this is about to be the one. Where you run over and then it start to rain. It should start raining first. And then they hug and jump in each other's arms and start kissing.
And before that, she's looking him in his eyes right before he dunks, well, body checks and dunks on her,
she
right?
She gave up at that point.
She was just like, please, just have sympathy on me. Her eyes are communicating that she is like begging.
no time, no friendship, no love.
She is begging him like, please just don't do this to us, right? And he does it, dunks on her all hard. And when the way she is walking away, and I'm not laughing, but it is, she played that part even from behind. You don't even see her facial expressions. Her body language is just like, I have been destroyed. Like, I don't know, Monica might have went on the top of a building that night if, you know.
With nutso.
You shut up. Making a reference to Above the Rim, which we do have a full breakdown on our Axiom Amnesia channel. I'll link that in the description in case you want to check that out. But yeah, man, they did a really good job of building this up. Like, my heart was in my throat watching this. Like, girl, she got to have him. Please let it happen. And
that's what a good story is. A good story isn't whether or not I think that they should be together or not. Is if have you captured the emotions of these characters,
and
right?
we have
Whether good or
invested
bad.
in them.
Because, well, let me say, some people like the most egregious things, like the movies where people are chopping people up and going on murdering sprees and stuff. You'd be like, ooh, that was so good. But then have a woman who really loves a guy and want to get with him, then, oh,
that's
man,
toxic.
That's toxic. It's a terrible movie.
I was today years old when I realized Quincy was the devil reincarnate. You know, like, come on, y'all.
But this is really good at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so she turned around and stuff, and he's like double or nothing.
Tell me why.
Double or nothing.
And why would you say double or nothing if he won? And you won on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So obviously, right? And when he says that, man, you talking about waiting to exhale, which we do have on this channel. Go ahead to the playlist that'll be linked in the description for the breakdown. But like, she exhales, she's like, you hear her exhale and you see it happen, and she has this like smile that comes on her face, like such relief that now he said yes. But in my mind, I think he said yes from the point he agreed to do the game.
But he should have beat her again.
Shut
but
up.
We'll see. So then they hug and kiss, and she's all happy and crying. And I'm just thinking, what if he just smashed and he still got married, and she would have been like, "I've never been on Oprah."
Shut up. She'd have been like at the end, nope, I've never been on Oprah before, like Layla Rashawn's character in Waiting to Exhale. But yeah, that could have been messy. But based on what we know of Quincy and what we seem to know of her at this point, we know that
Quincy
was
is erratic, though.
He had been erratic. Maybe sometime, maybe the 5 years had changed him a little bit. But yeah, so they start kissing. We all can have our catharsis as the audience. We are all relieved that finally what we've been waiting for has happened. Because see, earlier in the movie, when, as kids, they broke up, after like a day, not even a full day, right? And then you see they get together in high school. We're happy that they're getting together, but they snatch it away in college. Like we don't even get that much of them together. And then after that, they're apart from one another. And now let's hope that they are together forever, right? Because this is what the writers want the audience to feel. And I'm feeling it.
But see, the thing is, too, when they were apart, they were both unhappy. Even if it didn't have to do with them actually being together, she was unhappy because she was away and in a foreign place that was, away from family and didn't know anyone, just basic loneliness. And he was unhappy because he wasn't living out the superstar dreams in the NBA. And that's where they were. So now, they were together and everyone got happy. And then in the so-called third quarter, basically, they're just not, even though, I guess they called it, was it the fourth quarter?
This is the fourth quarter, yeah.
No,
or
I'm
the
talking about the
quarter.
part where they broke up.
No.
Basically. So when they were adults, it was the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah, that fourth quarter
probably
is adults.
should have been the third quarter, right? When they were unhappy and then, they get happy, but I guess we just got to end the movie anyway.
Yes. So before we get to like the epilogue, right? Because they do give us a little epilogue, which I like because a lot of movies don't give us the epilogue. Let's just ask a couple quick questions. One, did Monica steal Quincy? Did she steal Quincy? Go to the comments and let us know. Because some of you all, the ones who are so sophisticated, they always be like, you can't steal somebody who don't want to be stole. So and was what Monica did wrong? Ooh. Was her stepping up at this moment wrong when he is engaged? And I don't know.
It's the values we place on certain actions or situations that really advises on it.
Now, let me say, even though I jokingly say Monica stole that woman's husband, first, they weren't married yet. They were engaged, so a promise had been made. But what I would say is that some people would be like, well, she cheated, he cheated. Okay, would I call this cheating? I would call this deciding that it's over, right? Because that's really what Quincy did. And then the other question, which might change how you feel about what happened here, but does Carol still want him if he can't be a ball player? Did Carol want a ball player or did she love Quincy?
It don't matter. They didn't show us enough of her. They didn't show us enough to dislike her, right?
Right.
Usually what you get is they show you the flaws of the other person who's being left, because a lot of these romances and stuff, that's what happens, right? You see the other person, they're not good enough. It isn't just a character saying it. They're doing stuff that you disagree with, and then it's like karma when the person leaves them for someone else. So we didn't get to see enough of her for us to even make a determination about that. The thing is that they showed us that their love and their bond was so strong that everything else doesn't matter. They really do need to be together, unlike in college, where she thought basketball was more important, right? But in this point, nothing else matters but them being together. And if it hurts somebody else's feelings, because this is what should happen.
And let's just keep it real. If Quincy went and married that girl, they was gonna get divorced, because I feel like I don't think it would have lasted after this. You see what I'm saying? It was over for their relationship from the moment when Monica said, play me for your heart. Even if he won, and even if he said, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the right thing by Kira.
What if they never saw each other again, though?
They parents live next door to each other. They just will. It'll happen again. It'll, and look, even here's the other part. Even if the man or the woman doesn't get the person that they want to get, but they spend their time thinking about it. And I just want to say, there are situations where you can see things happen with people and you can realize, okay, you've seen this over years, and you see that this person wanted that person, but it didn't happen. And then they each went on and they married whoever they married, right? But you could look at the situation and you could see that the person who married the person who wanted somebody else that they didn't even know, right? Like they just come along later in that person's life. I have seen them catch straight up hell, for not being the person that
that can happen
really wanted to
sometimes,
be
but
with,
we're not talking about. We're talking about a specific situation, like, and generally, that probably doesn't. There are situations where that's the situation. People get married and then they stay together, right?
Yeah.
Not with the initial person.
Yeah.
So
maybe
I can't just apply that to this
she's
character.
She's going to get a divorce, but I just think that it's problematic for their relationship.
If most people now get divorces, then they probably will.
Yeah, at least half. Yeah, So yeah. But I just see it as being it's going to be problematic for their relationship, even if they don't wind up being divorced. And whatever. So,
but isn't it like that for almost everyone, where they were so in love with someone and then they didn't decide to leave and the other person did, and now they're just going throughout life with someone, not thinking, but having someone who that they never so-called fell out of love with or got over, right? Because it just ended to not their own doing.
Yeah, and I guess time apart could do it. But also every love is not like the love that they tried to depict in here. Like these two were like, they need to be gone and be together. Versus people, I
don't know. I could question that.
Okay.
Because all they really did show us was they knew each other for a long time and they had a little stint in college for not even a full year.
But they spent a lot of time wanting each other and not having each other. And I think that it was the unspoken parts. It was the time spent together, because again, that's a long time. When you're 23 or so, to have known somebody for like half your life, more than half your life, is a long time.
Yeah, but I think there are many people like that, right? And that's just, I'm just saying there is a case to be made that they didn't really show us that they were so in love. Because it wasn't a lot of situations that's happening, but through clever filmmaking, then it's conveyed. So
what did Monica and Quincy's parents say when they found out they had hooked up? And Quincy mama is about to throw this big wedding party. She's all she's got everything together, and she like, the wedding is in 2 weeks. And what? You and Monica gonna get married this day, or what's gonna happen?
Yeah, I think they should have talked about it more, but they just kind of threw the mother in there, and I wish the sister would have had some sort of input too.
Yeah, well, the sister, she was basically in college talking about, I've been loved so many times.
Did the sister have a husband?
I mean, I would think so.
Okay.
I would think so, just because you likely do.
Times were changing. It's the early 2000s, and she showed up there with her baby. And
go to the comments. Is Lena a single mother, or is she married? Is she divorced? What y'all think? Because they didn't really tell us about that. So yeah, I mean, I'm just assuming she went and she found some dude to marry, and she married him and had a baby, and this is what we see her. We see Lena recreating the life that the mother had. And Monica is just hanging out there. So we never did actually say, did Monica steal Quincy?
I don't think she did.
Yeah, I don't say it. I wouldn't call it stealing.
No, let's see.
But it's complicated.
Maybe she did.
Was she stealing? No, and was she wrong? Was she wrong to say, I love you, and I know you get married in 2 weeks, and I want to play you for your heart?
I don't think so, because it's always still on the other person, right? To decide if they want the same thing too.
Yeah, I don't.
Because it's sort of like, is it, sort of this touchy situation, but like the cat calling and sexual harassment, right? It's only sexual harassment if you don't like it. Right?
That's hard to say.
Think about it. One dude say the same thing to two women at work.
Yeah.
One likes it, one don't. One is sexual harassment. One is just, hey, we going out on a date or whatever else.
It's all sexual harassment, but it's okay to the woman who wants to receive it.
Sexual harassment if it's unwanted, right? Because I think that's part of sometimes the official definition.
Look, now I got to get the official definition.
Unwanted sexual advancements. That's kind of how it is. Like, where is it?
It says unwelcome verbal or physical. So you are right.
Yeah.
Unwelcome. So it can't even be. So how do you know if it's welcome?
I think it is when I think of Trump, right? When he talk about, I just grab him.
Yeah.
And they don't even say anything because, basically he's famous and stuff. And I'm like, well, if they don't want it, but you can always come back and say you didn't want it. It was unwelcome. But anyway.
Well, yeah, it's unwelcome. So how do you even know it's unwelcome?
You don't know until after the fact.
So you just got to do the inappropriate thing and then be like, was it welcome? I mean, if she says yes, it was welcome. If she says no, then maybe it was unwelcome.
They're just sitting there, goodbye job.
Yeah, it's great. It's a gray area for sure. But so was Monica wrong? I do not think Monica was wrong to tell him how she felt. I do not think that was wrong.
And it was up to him to decide if he's going to go forward with that. But
would it have been wrong if they were married already?
Is it the priming part too, though? I haven't used that in a word in a while.
Priming, okay.
Where she is like, hey, you're about to get married, but remember this thing we had and let's go, and you know what I'm saying? Let me get you off track.
Well, that was a manipulation for sure.
Yeah, but
but
is that wrong or not? But if we're gonna live in this kind of society that we do, that we say go after what you want, then I think that's fair. And it's up to the other person, and they can decide.
Would it not be fair if they were already married? Would that have been okay for her to say, I know you're married, but I love you?
That's what I was talking about, where we place values on certain situations and whatever. Before, if now something is totally wrong because
you're married or you have this designation. Yeah. I mean,
so, I don't know.
Go to the comments and tell us the answers.
So in the end, they show the forum, they show Los Angeles basketball team, and then we realize it's the WNBA team, the Sparks. And so they are introducing the players, and we see Monica Wright McCall.
Yeah.
So she made it to the NBA, I guess we could say that. But the WNBA came into existence, right? Because it was maybe around 97-ish, 96, 97. And, this movie takes place kind of, from the 80s. Well, you know what I mean. By the time they were in high school, it was the late 80s. So then the college and after, all that we saw was probably early 90s.
So that's what happened. So Monica and Quincy, clearly are married and have a baby now. We see this little, less than 1-year-old look like about maybe, baby that Quincy is holding in, watching Monica's game. So presumably Quincy didn't make it back to the NBA. That's what we're assuming.
Yeah, we're assuming
and
that.
He's
supporting her.
Yeah, he's supporting her the way he expected her to support him and be in the stands, being his biggest cheerleader, right? Remember when they were kids, he was like, "You gonna be my cheerleader?"
Yeah,
and it's funny. He is her cheerleader.
But he had always been there when they were, on good terms. He was always at her games and watching and stuff. When she was playing.
So so they had, the happy ending. Monica gets to have it all. She has the family, the baby, just like her sister now. She got a little baby. She's got the man, and she also has her career, the career she wants, not at the bank, but playing ball. So we have finished finally, after 7 parts covering our extra full breakdown of love and basketball. There are still some comments that you guys made along the way that were really great, subjects that we would like to touch on. And if there is something in specific about the movie that you want to discuss or you have questions about, go ahead to the comments and put it down there, because we may have some other wrap up and final thoughts video after this on Love and Basketball.
Yeah, or it could be live if you become a member or a patron or something like that.
Yeah. And we just want to, again, just thank so much the people who are channel members, the people who are patrons. The links for that are all in the description. But just so that you know, we do have multiple channels. And so when you become a channel member, you become one. We only have one membership, which is on the Axiom Amnesia main channel, which is linked in the description. That's not this channel, but you get access to all of the of the exclusive videos and also any live streams that we do. And you'll also get access to like early releases, because one of the things that we're trying to do in 2024 is, you know, have more and more consistent content, even more content for everybody. But you get like first look at all this stuff if you are a channel member or a patron. And we also like the people who, we understand if you can't give every month, that's fine. But the people who Cash App us, we love that. That just helps to keep the channel going, because we're doing our best to provide all of this to you.
If you made it this far in this video, type dream big in the comments so we'll know you're one of the real ones who stick around.
And be sure to check out the video that's on the screen right now.